My name's Scott Dunn. I'm an Agile coach and trainer with Rocket9 Solutions. Today I wanted to walk through some content from Bill Joyner's Leadership Agility. As we work with organizations, coaching and training, both in the Agile adoption and the team level, one-on-ones, but also with leaders and managers through the adoption, we found a tool that's very useful that I'd like to walk through today. Keep in mind that surveys over the last 10 plus years have shown that one of the main problems and challenges with an Agile adoption is mid-management, both their understanding of Agile, how they get behind it and support it, and whether there's resistance or not. So let's take a quick look at a typical manager, and my experience as well is mirrored in some of this, and the journey they might take. So we have three categories of a manager or a leader in an organization. I'm going to walk through those. According to Bill Joyner, number one is the expert. And I think this might be common to all of us, and I certainly have been in that spot where I got promoted because I was the best at that job or the smartest person. I knew the systems the best. So I'm now the manager of people based on my expertise. Now, because of that, a lot of the work I'm going to do is more one-on-one and directive, because I know if someone comes to a problem, I'll solve that problem and tell them what to do and then execute against that. And the problem is that does set up kind of a sense of compliance that now they need to execute against that. And maybe I'm not getting the best ideas or the biggest perspective because I'm not asking so much, but I am directive and I can get quick results. Let's move that forward a little bit more. I could move into the achiever type of manager where now I'm conducting across people, and I might, instead of answering your question, solving a problem, I'd say, well, here's who you need to go talk to. Go check with Sally. Right? So I'm still acting as a conductor, I'm still driving that, but my influence and my impact is still limited to how many people I can connect. These are both good examples when someone says, if only we could clone Bob, because he's just too busy, because he's the one who always has to be directing or answering questions directly, right? So that's more of our conductor. If we can, we'd like to move into the catalyst, where now you come to me with a problem and my response might be, well, what do you think? Or who else should we talk to? Hey, let's get them in the same room. So now I can go one to many and broaden my impact. So a couple of ways I'd like to look at this. If you draw an arrow going across here, the ways that these might grow are several. One, their time horizon. The way they look at solutions isn't immediate, like, hey, do this, solve this problem now. They might stop and think, well, yeah, that would solve the problem now, but we're going to run into that again later. They're thinking 3 months ahead, 6 months ahead, long-term thinking. Another might be what we call systems thinking. So they see it as a system as a whole, like, you know what, that would have a ripple effect. If we change that, that's going to impact another group. Let's think about that. So they want to practice more like lean thinking in the sense that don't solve the wrong problem. Don't jump and jam a solution down. Let's understand the whole system and what that ripple effect might be, and what might truly be the root cause analysis with tools like Ishikawa or the 5 Whys. So they're trying to do more like systems thinking. And the last one I think might be the most significant and the biggest challenge is their understanding of self, that is self-awareness. They both know where they're strong and they know where they're not. So they might invite other people. In my case, I might be very good with people, but I might miss some of the details. So when it comes time to try to do some kind of solutioning, I'm aware of where I'm weak, and I might invite people to the meeting who are really good at those details or who will think about the process more thoroughly than I would. So that's self-awareness. In addition, they look for feedback and they're asking for feedback and wanting feedback. They don't deflect it when someone says, you know, well, I thought maybe we could do this, but you decided X, and they try to justify that, or maybe they blame shift and say, well, you know I had to do this and that was Bob's fault, or Bob should have done this, but they receive that feedback. And Jim Collins would say they look into the mirror when there's blame, and they look out the window to assign credit. So there's a self-growing. So this is moving out for bigger impact in the organization. Part of the reason I think it's so significant now, more than 10 or 20 years ago, is that the pace of change happening in the marketplace and in our industry is unprecedented, with connected devices, with things like cloud and happening. So there's breakthrough innovation, and we can't solve the same problems the same way where I'm in control of that. It just moves too fast and it can be too big. So if we could grow as leaders and grow as managers in how we work with people, I think you'll see bigger impact. I think you'll see the results of that in the ideas that you can bring forth in solving long-term problems and solving the right problem. But it's not just one directional. There might be times where you have to come back a little bit. And just as a quick comment, as much as I like Agile in the collaborative space, we don't always flip every question onto everybody to go by the wisdom of crowds and what they think. There might be still times like, If the house is on fire, you don't say, well, team, let's get together and talk about what you think about that. You might need to say, I need everybody out, grab your belongings, go, you got 1 minute. So you might still slide back here too. But by and large, about 90% of people, managers, positions and leadership are sitting in this role. And we want to move towards out in some growth. And I think that's very easy to do both in training and in coaching. You need a safe space where you can get feedback honestly from someone who says, how did you think that meeting went? Did you notice what happened with Joe? Right? Who's the person that tells you the honest truth in some of those situations? Most of the managers, it's true, it's lonely at the top and they don't have someone who's giving them honest feedback. So if you do want to grow, think about the tools and help that can get there. So I hope that's of some help to you to consider. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. You can reach us at rocket9solutions.com.